Jane's parents died, and so she went to Gateshead with her aunt and cousins. They were very mean to her, and John always hit her. He did not get in trouble for it. Mrs. Reed thought of Jane as a terrible child, and she always sent her to the Red Room. She hated it there. She always had night terrors, and she saw a vision of her uncle, and it shocked her for life. Jane stood up to Mrs. Reed, and so she sent her to Lowood with Mr. Brocklehurst. She was not excited about it at 10 years old.
Jane endured hardships like starvation and cold. Visited her best friend Helen because she had typhoid fever. Then she died in her arms. Done her time at Lowood, now she's moved to Thornfield to be a governess. She teaches a young girl named Adela who is the master's daughter. The master eventually falls in love with Jane. Robert Levin comes to the door and gives Jane a message. He explains that her cousin killed himself. Mrs. Reed is sick and wants Jane to come. Jane makes the long journey back to Gateshead to find Mrs. Reed.
I just wanted to say sorry for the way I treated you and left things. It was really poorly of me to do that. I have something to give to you. So this letter was actually 3 years ago, and I told him that you died. But I still hate you.
Mrs. Reed died.
Not my loss.
Jane makes the long journey back to Thornfield. Edward Rochester explains to Jane that she is his only love interest. He proposes to her and asks her to marry him. She is very pleased. Marriage is what brings us together today. Any opposes?
I oppose. He is married to my sister.
Let's find out this way. Courtney is now Jane. Edward Rochester wanted Jane to marry him because his wife was lunatic and didn't really count as a wife. She set fire to the blanket, and she bit Mr. Mason's arm during the night. She ripped the veil. Jane could not bear to be his wife because he's already married to somebody else. She did not want to live a lie.
After she left Mr. Rochester, she was a beggar because she had no money or no food or anything. This was her last hope of finding a house, so she looked through the window and the people saw her and let her in with welcoming arms. Jane Eyre is sick when she's brought in. Now she's healthy and happy again. She became a teacher at Moore House.
The Rivers, who she was staying with, didn't know her true last name. She had used a fake identity, and they thought her to be mysterious. But she was drawing one day, and she had signed the page.
Jane finished drawing the picture, and St. John walked by, and he noticed that Jane signed her name on the paper. So he ripped it off and rolled it up, and then he put it in
His pocket.
Hey, we're related! Oh.
Okay, pause the video.
please. Uncle John dies. St. John was informed that he left money in his will for Jane. Jane insists on giving him money, and he did not want to take it, but she forced him to take it for him and his sisters.
I'm planning to go on a mission to India, and I need someone to come with me. And I would love for you to come. Will you please marry me, Jane Eyre?
Boy, we're cousins. I think you're thinking of me as like a good missionary wife, so that's why you want to marry me, but like, nah.
Jane would write countless letters to Edward Rochester, but he would never return the letters back to her. And one night, Jane heard,
Jane!
I'm coming, my love.
Since Jane had enough money to go back to Thornfield, she went back to Thornfield to try to find her love.
Oh me, oh my, it's all burnt.
She's going to the hotel after she saw that Thornfield had been burnt.
Okay, sir, I have so many questions for you. Like, I went to Mr. Rochester's house and it was like burnt. Like, what happened? Like, where is he? Is he okay? Is he fine?
Whoa, chill, girlfriend. Girl, you haven't heard? I gotta fill you in on all the tea.
You better spill.
The crazy lady that he was married to before,
Oh,
Bertha Mason, she burned down the entire house, and he was the last one to leave. He saved everyone. He was a big hero that day.
Dang, I knew that girl was insane.
Yeah, she's crazy, boy.
He was the last one out. He lost his hand and his vision.
Oh no, so where is he?
He's in Ferdine.
Guess what? His crazy wife died.
Ooh, I gotta go find him right now. Boy, bye.
You go, girl.
I hear something. Mary, is that you?
No.
Jane, is that you?
Uh-huh.
No, I must be delusional.
Honey, I got some tea for you. And, I heard a lot about you, so...
Oh. What did you hear?
I heard about your house burning down, and that your, wacky wife finally died. Thank goodness.
Wait, is that really you? Oh, I can feel you. Oh, that is you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my love.
Fate has brought us together.
Yeah, Jane, last week I was so desperate. I wanted to see you so badly, and I didn't think that I would ever see you again. And I actually prayed to God, and I called out your name. I said, Jane, and I heard a voice that said, I'm coming. And I thought I was just delusional, but you're here. You're really here.
OMG, honey, your hand. It's gone.
It's gone. Jane, I love you so much, and I just want to be with you for all time and eternity. Will you marry me?
Of course, I love you.
You will?
Yeah.
You'll even with my disabilities, my lost hand and my lost vision.
It doesn't matter. I just love you for who you are.
Oh, I can't wait.
Me too.
2 years later, Mr. Rochester is so grateful for his wonderful life, staying faithful to him throughout the years. He has now had surgery to restore his vision, so he can see. And they had a baby child. It's a boy.
It sums it all up. Wait, what?